The story begins with a boy named Miles Morales, a kid who absolutely loves spray painting. He's out there creating graffiti on the city walls. It's the end of the weekend, and tomorrow school starts again. Miles actually lives at his school and only comes home on weekends. He's a huge Spider-Man fan, but most of his life, it's stuck inside books and homework. Miles isn't that close to his dad, but his uncle Aaron Davis, he loves him more than anything. Whenever he gets free time, Miles hangs out with him. One day, when Uncle Aaron sees one of his graffiti artworks, he's really impressed. He takes Miles to an old subway tunnel, a secret spot with a massive wall, the perfect place to show off his art. Miles, being obsessed with spray painting, gets to work immediately, and when he finishes, Uncle Aaron smiles and says, "You've got real talent, kid." Just then, Aaron gets a call and says, "Alright, we gotta go." Miles is about to leave, when suddenly, a radioactive spider bites him. The moment it happens, strange things begin inside his body. His cells start mutating rapidly. He kills the spider, heads home, and crashes into bed. But the next morning, everything feels off. He's taller, his clothes don't fit, and when he reaches school, his hand accidentally gets stuck in a girl's hair. They literally have to cut it off. Miles starts freaking out, overthinking everything. And the weirdest part? Anything he touches starts sticking to him. As he runs, he realizes he can literally walk on walls. He tries to calm down by reading a comic book, but even the pages stick to his hands. That's when it hits him. These are the same symptoms Spider-Man had. Could it be? Could he be Spider-Man too? Still in disbelief, Miles decides to go back to that subway tunnel to check if the spider was real or not. When he gets there, he does find the spider, glowing with electric energy. And then, right before his eyes, Spider-Man himself is fighting the Green Goblin. Miles watches from a distance, trying to stay hidden, but he slips and falls. Spider-Man swings in, saves him, and the two instantly feel a strange connection. Peter Parker realizes something and says, "I thought I was the only Spider-Man." Then he tells Miles, "That machine I'm fighting, it's a collider. I need to destroy it before it's too late." Spider-Man reaches the collider and starts inserting a special chip to shut it down, but then the Prowler shows up, and a fight breaks out. Moments later, Green Goblin grabs Spider-Man. All of this is being watched by Kingpin, sitting in his control room. He activates the Super Collider, a machine powerful enough to open up multiple dimensions, and if it overloads, it could destroy the entire Earth. As the collider powers up, Green Goblin shoves Spider-Man into the energy beam. There's a massive explosion. Spider-Man is badly injured. Miles rushes to him. Peter hands him a small flash drive and says, "Promise me, you'll destroy the collider. If it ever turns on again, our world won't survive." Miles promises. Peter tells him to run, and he does. But right after that, Kingpin arrives and ends Spider-Man's life. Miles watches in shock, frozen with fear, and just when he tries to escape, the Prowler spots him and starts chasing him through the city. Somehow Miles manages to escape and make it back home. The moment he walks in, his parents are shocked. "Miles, what are you doing here? How did you get home?" Miles just says quietly, "Can I stay here tonight?" Meanwhile, every news channel is talking about just one thing. The hero who protected our city, Spider-Man, is gone. Hearing that, Miles feels a deep ache in his heart. To pay his respects, he buys a Spider-Man costume and goes to the memorial event, where Peter Parker's wife is giving a tearful goodbye speech. Everyone there is wearing Spider-Man suits, each person honoring the hero who once saved them. Standing among them, Miles realizes maybe he needs to take Spider-Man's place now. He tries doing what Spider-Man would do. He climbs to the top of a tall building, trying to gather the courage to jump, but he can't do it. He loses balance and falls hard. In that fall, the pen drive Peter gave him, the one that could destroy the collider, snaps in half. Crushed with guilt, Miles visits Peter Parker's grave, wanting to apologize to his hero. But suddenly, someone comes up behind him. Startled, Miles attacks, and the stranger falls down. When Miles looks closer, he's wearing a Spider-Man suit. But wait, the Spider-Man of this world is dead. So who is this guy? That's when the truth comes out. His name is Peter B. Parker. When the collider exploded, it pulled him from another universe into this one. In his world, he's the only Spider-Man, but he's older now, around 40, tired, out of shape, and kind of lazy. The collision knocked him unconscious, and now Miles drags him to safety. They end up stuck on top of a moving train, dodging crowds, cars, and chaos, until they finally reach a safe spot. Peter frees himself, and for the first time, both Spider-Men stand face to face. That's when they realize Spider-Man isn't just one person. There can be many. Miles tells him about the broken pen drive, and how there's no way left to destroy the collider. Peter thinks for a moment and says, "Then we'll just have to build a new one, and for that we need to break into Kingpin's office." The two set off on their mission. When they arrive, Miles still hasn't fully learned to control his powers, so Peter tells him, "Stay out here, I'll handle this." But Miles thinks to himself, "I can't just watch another Spider-Man die in front of me." He decides to follow him inside. That's when we meet a new character, Olivia Octavius. And And yes, she's this universe's Dr. Octopus. While sneaking around, Peter discovers something incredible. The spider that bit Miles gave him a unique ability. He can turn invisible, a power no other Spider-Man has ever had. When Olivia shows up, Miles instantly goes invisible. He tries hacking her computer to retrieve Collider data, but fails miserably. So he does the only thing left to do. He grabs the entire CPU and runs for his life. When Olivia Octavius first sees Peter B. Parker, she's shocked. Wait, the Spider-Man of this dimension is dead. Then who are you? Confused, she runs a quick medical scan on him. The results leave her stunned. His cells are decaying fast. That's when she realizes the Collider must have pulled this Spider-Man from another dimension, and if he stays here too long, his body will collapse. Moments later, Olivia reveals her true identity, transforming into the menacing Dr. Octopus. She attacks Peter B. Parker, tentacles flying everywhere. Meanwhile, Miles, still invisible, grabs the CPU and bolts. Olivia can't see him. Both Miles and Peter fight their way outside, but Doc Ock bursts out after them, and right then, another Spider-Person swings in. A girl, Gwen Stacy. In this universe, she's Miles's classmate, but in her world, she's the one bitten by the radioactive spider. Gwen quickly joins the fight, saving them both. Later, she shares her story, how she battled villains back in her own dimension, how she lost friends, and why she's here. After that, we shift to Kingpin's past. There was a time when he nearly killed Spider-Man, but his wife and son saw him doing it. Terrified, they ran, and in that chaos, they crashed their car. Kingpin lost them both forever. That loss is what drove him to build the Super Collider, a desperate attempt to bring his family back from another dimension. Now Gwen, Miles, and Peter B. Parker visit this dimension's Peter Parker's house. Aunt May opens the door, instantly recognizing them. "You're not my Peter, are you?" Then she smiles softly. "Took you guys long enough." She leads them to a secret underground lab, Peter Parker's Spider Cave. Inside, they meet even more spider heroes from across the multiverse. Spider-Man Noir, from a black and white 1930s universe. Penny Parker, the anime-style Spider-Girl, with her Spider-Mech. Spider-Ham, a cartoon pig who's also a Spider-Man. Each of them was bitten by a radioactive spider in their own world. Peter B. Parker explains, "To send everyone back home, someone has to stay behind and destroy the Collider manually." Miles steps forward immediately. "Whoever stays, dies, so all of you go back. I'll shut down the Collider myself." But the others stop him. "You're not ready, kid. You can't face Kingpin and his goons alone." Hearing that breaks Miles' heart. He walks away quietly, feeling useless. He can't even talk to his parents anymore. He's been gone too long, and they're worried sick. So he decides to visit the only person he trusts, his Uncle Aaron. When Miles reaches his apartment, he senses something's off and hides. Moments later, the Prowler enters. The masked man removes his helmet, and Miles freezes. It's Uncle Aaron. His world shatters in that moment. Trembling, Miles backs away, but Aaron spots him. All he sees is a masked intruder dressed as Spider-Man. He chases Miles through the city, desperate to catch him. Somehow, Miles escapes and makes it back to Aunt May's house, where all the spider heroes are gathered. He gasps, "The Prowler, it's my Uncle Aaron." Before they can react, the front door explodes open. Standing outside, Kingpin's entire team, Prowler, Scorpion, and more. A massive battle erupts. Buildings shake, web lines snap. Prowler corners Miles, grabs him, and just as he's about to strike, Miles pulls off his mask. Aaron freezes. Miles, his eyes widen in shock. He can't do it. He can't kill his own nephew, his own blood. Kingpin was watching everything unfold right in front of his eyes. Furious, he shouted, "Davis, end him." But the Prowler, Aaron Davis, hesitated. He looked at Miles and just couldn't do it. He couldn't kill him. Kingpin, who knew nothing about mercy, raised his gun and shot Davis right there. Aaron collapsed to the ground, bleeding out. Kingpin turned toward Miles to finish him off too, but Peter B. Parker rushed in just in time to save him. Miles carried his wounded uncle away, but it was too late. The bullet had gone too deep, and within moments, Aaron Davis took his last breath. Just then, Miles's father Jefferson arrived at the scene. He was a police officer, and had no idea the masked figure in front of him was his own son. He yelled, "Stop! Hands up!" But Miles vanished, turning invisible. Moments later, Jefferson found his brother's body, and from that moment on, he believed Spider-Man was responsible. Miles returned home, filled with anger and guilt, but before he could think, the other Spider-Men arrived. They tried to make him understand. "Miles, you can't face Kingpin alone. Peter B. Parker will stay behind and shut down the Collider. The rest of us will go back to our own dimensions." They tied Miles up to keep him from interfering, took the pen drive, and left. Miles sat there, lost, questioning everything. Who am I really? What am I even doing? And then, his dad came to the door. But this time, his voice wasn't strict. It was full of love. "Son, whatever you choose to do, just don't shut me out. That's one thing I can't handle." Those words hit Miles Miles straight in the heart. He focused all his strength and used his bioelectric venom blast to free himself. Then he went straight to Aunt May's house, put on the Spider-Man suit, and customized it in his own style. That day, Miles Morales wasn't just another kid anymore. He became Spider-Man, a Spider-Man who had finally risen above his fears. Meanwhile, the others had already reached Kingpin's building, where the collider was hidden. Kingpin had thrown a huge tribute party for the late Peter Parker, so no one would suspect a thing. Every waiter there was dressed as Spider-Man, which made it easy for the team to blend in. They made their way to the collider, but Dr. Olivia Octavius was already waiting. And right then, Miles showed up. The others were shocked, but also proud, because Miles had learned to control his powers. The fight began. Scorpion, Olivia Octavius, they all charged in. But this time, things were different. Miles was ready. He fought with full confidence, and at the perfect moment, inserted the pen drive into the collider. Now it was time to send everyone back home. One by one, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Spider-Ham returned to their own dimensions. Each of them smiled, because they knew their world was in safe hands now. Miles Morales was the Spider-Man of this universe. Gwen Stacy, the Spider-Woman, smiled softly at Miles and said her final goodbye, then disappeared back into her own dimension. Now only two were left, Miles Morales and Peter B. Parker. Peter wanted to stay. "I'm staying here. I can help," he said, but Miles stopped him. "If you stay, you'll die." Peter didn't argue. His face said it all, pain and pride. And just then, Kingpin arrived. Miles took a deep breath. He knew this was his fight now. He pushed Peter straight into the collider, sending him back to his dimension, and turned to face Kingpin, alone. The collider's energy surged again, and suddenly, Kingpin saw something that broke him from within, his wife and son. For a moment they stood right before him, but instead of love, there was fear in their eyes. They stepped back, terrified. Kingpin roared in rage, throwing everything he could find at Miles. Miles was hurt, struggling to breathe, but he refused to give up, because now he was Spider-Man. Kingpin was way stronger, but Miles had one thing he didn't, his venom blast power. With one final powerful strike, Miles unleashed his electric venom blast, sending Kingpin crashing to the ground. "Take that, Kingpin." The villain was down, and Miles shut down the collider, saving the entire city. All of this Miles's father had witnessed, and in that moment, he realized whoever was behind that mask was the city's greatest hero. A hero who had saved not just the city, but his heart too. Later, Miles thought, Dad must be worried sick right now. He called him, then put his Spider-Man mask back on, and swung down to meet him. Without revealing his face, Miles hugged his dad tight. Jefferson was surprised, but deep inside, he felt nothing but love and pride. And just like that, the city had found its new Spider-Man, Miles Morales. All the other Spider people had returned to their own worlds, but this world, it now had a hero of its own. And that's how Miles Morales became the new Spider-Man, a hero born from courage, loss, and heart. If you loved this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, because everyone deserves to feel a little bit super.